The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily forecast, which may turn into some live coverage for this possibly major tornado outbreak here in the southeast. Right into these weather headlines, and that is our biggest headline. A major tornado outbreak is looking like it's going to start in the coming moments here. Violent tornadoes are likely. Large to very large hail, damaging winds are all very likely for the remainder of this afternoon and continuing all the way into tomorrow, where we will see the threat shift over to the East Coast, to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and all that jazz with tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds continuing. And before we get to that, just that friendly reminder, vote for Hail Trace for Win the Storm. The Win the Storm conference is in New Orleans on March 31st to April 2nd. The award show is on April 2nd. You can vote for us pretty much all the way up until this happens. So pushing past this, we're going to jump right into what's happening right now. So here we are in Alabama. We're going to zoom all the way out here to show you the southeast current conditions of what's happening across the risk area. So we had some storms in the Houston area a little while ago, had up to some dime-size hail. It was severe warning, but we didn't see any severe hail. However, if we look right now, we can zoom in here over in portions of Mississippi. It looks like we have a tornado warning happening at this moment. We don't have the specific radar loaded up for this at the moment. I'll probably do this a little later, but based off of what someone said off of camera, it looks like there possibly may already be a tornado ongoing. Let's go ahead and query this tornado warning, see what it is going to be, how long it's going to be in effect here. It should show up on the screen in a second. Yeah, there you go. So until about 12:45 Central Time. No, not really any hail. It's only pretty much some lightning and a possible tornado looking pretty intense. And that's how a lot of this is going to be today. These showers are going to go up, and they're going to very quickly go tornado warning, possibly have some pretty intense tornadoes. Only about 5,000 people at risk for this one. Thankfully, Gilbertown, Toxie, and Waynesboro are all at risk here moving forward. So if we get rid of this, we zoom up towards Birmingham. We go back to the Birmingham area and just focus in on the Birmingham radar. It looks like we have a storm that we're kind of keeping an eye on for this potential. There we go, here in Birmingham. We actually have, let's see, what is this hail marker showing? Potential for at least a strengthening updraft here in the Birmingham area. We bring this up. Oh, no, yeah, it's our first time doing the live stuff, so we're going to have a couple little hiccups here and there, but there we go. That should bring that up. Yeah, so this is our Titan impact scale. The hail impact pretty low. If the wind impact's a little higher, I think probably because there's some rotation trying to show up in here. If you click on just main query, it should bring up the details on there. Yeah, so those hail sizes are pretty low. It's showing 80% chance of hail. However, it's going to be pea size or less, and these things are rocketing to the northeast at 44 miles an hour. and Titan impact. You guys will hear that a lot with our live coverage coming up here. So we can clear this out and zoom out a little bit, and you can actually tell there is a warm front pushing off to the north here, where all of this rain is located in the Tennessee area. Now the big thing with this is where we're going to have the best chance for that real intense severe weather. So the tornadoes and the big hail is where this warm front's going. It is racing to the north. When I originally looked at it about an hour ago, it was still in Alabama. It looks like that warm front's really trying to push up into Tennessee now. The only area that's going to be kind of protected is in the Atlanta area and parts of the Carolinas. We have what's called a cold air dam. So basically we have cool air coming off the Appalachian Mountains into northern Georgia, and that's going to keep them safe, at least for the majority of the day. Going into tonight's going to be a different story, however. So everything is primed. This tornado watch right here is actually a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch. These are issued about once every couple years. They're pretty intense. See here, a little over 500,000 people are in the zone for this tornado watch. So about 7 p.m. Central Time. So that includes Birmingham, Jackson, Hattiesburg, Clinton, Tuscaloosa, all at risk. Is that another tornado warning that just got issued down south in Alabama? Here, just zoom in over on here. I think that's another tornado warning. Yeah, just to the south. All right, so just to the west of Montgomery here, right by Selma, we have a tornado warning. Looks like it just got issued a second ago. Let's query that up. Let's see what it is up till. So that tornado warning is till 1 o'clock for Selma, West Selma and Selma, about 25,000 people. Again, the hail threat's not really there. If we get rid of this, and we can actually bring up the CCs just through a little scope here, and you can actually see the CCs of this storm. And you see, yeah, there's almost nothing. Correlation coefficient, you guys know this for live coverage in the past. If you see anything like the greens or the blues showing up, that's when you see the big hail. Not really anything, but look at the velocities right in here. You see the two colors coming together. That is some serious rotation showing up. So that's why they tornado warned it. But again, so today I think a lot of what we're going to see for CCs is going to be less the large hail and more looking for debris balls. So correlation coefficient sees just objects in the sky, such as hail. And the thing that it also is very good for, and I think is probably the original intention of it, was going to be the finding debris from a tornado being lofted in the air. So I have a feeling we're going to see some debris balls. This is moving pretty much right into Selma. We zoom in a little bit more. It looks like we're actually getting quite the hook showing up on this thing already. Yeah, wow, holy cow, look at this already. So again, these storms are just starting, guys. Like, I was trying to get this forecast together. A reason why we have this up here is I was anticipating activity was going to get going here pretty much right at the noon hour. So if you remove this storm track thing on this, it's going to be on the drop-down menu. Click the little eye and it'll get rid of the hail indicator for a moment. It's going to be where you right above sweeping radar. Yeah, not in the palettes. Yeah. Are you hearing me, Frank, by the way? Yeah, somebody said no sound. Turn the volume, but you might have to unmute me or something. We're getting audio on our end. So storm reports in the, it's like one of the things with the eyes on it. By local storm reports at the top, right above. There it is. There you go. Here we go. So, okay. I just got a radar update here. I'm a little concerned. I'm seeing some. So here's the hook. You can see it kind of just like wrapping up in here. If we bring up the velocities, we can probably see, yeah, look at that. That is some serious rotation going on. Again, this is just to the southwest of Selma, and probably going directly towards the south side of Selma. Again, we're moving pretty quickly here. These storms are going to be rocketing off to the north and east. And right now, let's switch it over to the correlation coefficient again, Frank. Okay, that's a little bit concerning. Can you move it over a little bit? Okay. All right. Okay, so far it doesn't look like we have a debris ball at the moment, but again, tornado warning ongoing right now as of 12:16 Central Time. Again, throw this, yeah, we can remove that. And you see this storm. Look at this hook, classic, coming down. You have the warm air coming into this storm, plenty of it. We've had a lot of heating this morning, not much cloudiness. So now any of these showers going up, the environment is primed. and it is immediately making tornadic storms. Again, this is moving pretty much to the southeast, just to the south side of the Selma area. In the again, next probably, how fast is this thing moving again, Frank? Let's bring it up here. Yeah, do the query quick. Okay, so it's going to be on the query thing off on the right-hand area. Can you see it? Like, it's going to be on just for you to view. Up at the top right, so you're going to see pallets, properties, query, all the way over. Yeah, so any query, if you were to query again, you can get the speed and direction this is coming at. So again, it's about 25,000 people impacted. It's the south side of Selma is where this tornado warning storm is headed. 35 to the northeast. So there you go. Next 45 minutes. So we're going to pretty much be going right through Selma at 12:23, and then Manila after that, Fremont, Milton, and Vita Junction as of 1 o'clock in the morning. So this next 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, God, this will probably go pretty late. So that's what we're seeing in the next 45 minutes. So this is the center of the storm. This is probably going to be, just to the south here. So it's going to be probably south of downtown Selma. So let's zoom back out. Let's just go back out to the Birmingham area, see what else is going on at the moment. And if it's a little quieter, we're probably going to go back to actually doing the forecast here. Okay, we're just seeing some heavy rain in the Birmingham area, thankfully. And then we zoom out one more time to the general southeast. These are all the storms, the big problems we're going to have for the rest of the afternoon. And then back here, that is very much the line of storms that's going to be moving through tonight as well. So with that, I'm going to push forward here. We're going to go to see the future radar, what we're expecting for the remainder of this afternoon. So as of 3 p.m. this afternoon, you can see all these supercells that are going to be ongoing from pretty much Huntsville down to about the Montgomery area, back towards Jackson, and then you have a line of storms back by Louisiana and Arkansas. And this all could have hail, all could have tornadoes. Push forward a little bit more here. See all that activity that forms. You can have any of these storms have hail and tornadoes into Georgia, up into Tennessee as the warm front continues to push to the north and we get more moisture and more instability by 6 p.m. Memphis, you could be at risk. We have the line of storms moving towards Jackson, Mississippi. And again, any of these isolated storms could have some pretty intense tornadoes. Pushing off even later to 11 p.m. and we're still going to be in total severe weather mode here, guys, as this line doesn't really become a line. It's just a broken area of supercells moving to the east. So we can see a lot of tornadoes today and severe weather, hail, wind, all that jazz. And things will begin to warm up in the Atlanta area as well, where you'll see that severe weather pushing across Alabama. So by 5:30 in the morning, you're still seeing 6 o'clock in the morning, you're still seeing severe weather in eastern Alabama. At that point, we're moving towards Atlanta, Georgia, and even going into the Carolinas as we get a little bit later on. We're going to zoom in a little bit more here towards just Alabama itself, where I think the real focus of a lot of this tornadic activity and hail potential is going to be. So again, seeing that at 3 p.m. We're already seeing stuff like this right now. So it's only going to get more intense. You see here over by Montgomery, over by Birmingham. A lot of activity is going to be moving through that area. And any isolated storm, we're seeing that. These things barely have lightning with them, and they're already going tornado warns. So again, probably going to be pretty busy. We're mapping it all for you guys. You'll get those alerts coming on. And of course, you can watch us here live. We will try to break it down for you as much as possible. Zoom in to cities and whatnot when, if any, hopefully, we don't have a major tornado move through Birmingham, but if we do, we'll be here to cover it. And then you see here, by the time we get to about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, most of Alabama, all of Mississippi, most of central Tennessee or middle Tennessee will be out of the risk, but it's going to shift over to tomorrow where we could see activity going into Georgia. So for the hail, what are we expecting for hail? I know we've just been talking about tornadoes. That hail is there. So these storms, once they get going, they start becoming dominant, a little bit more intense, a little deeper, not just a shower with a tornado on it. That potential is there. This is at 2 p.m. today. I'm good. What happened? Did it just turn off? Okay. So anyway, at 2 p.m., don't worry, the sound comes back. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, we're back. Had to replace some batteries. Our receiver died. Don't worry, we're good now. We should be good for a while here, so should be great for severe coverage a little later. So as of 2 p.m., this is being underdone even from what we saw for observations. This is a model run from a little earlier. You can see anywhere in here, large hail possible across all of Mississippi, all of Louisiana, most of Alabama, and we push it forward into the evening hours, and the real core of that significant hail possibility is going to be across Alabama, and then after that it shifts off to the east, and actually the model run ends at about 4 o'clock. So that hail potential is there. And then what's the overall hail size? What am I thinking the biggest hail report for the day is going to be? I think we could get up to that softball size hail. You get a pretty intense supercell going with a big tornado on it. You probably could see some pretty intense hail. So where exactly is that going to be? What cities are we going to be looking at? Well, for Birmingham, we got that PDS tornado watch out till 7 p.m. And we have 1 to 9 p.m. is where we're expected to see storms. So pretty much about an hour from now, once this rain moves out from Birmingham, could have up to that 4-inch hail, and that's anywhere in the metro. That's your max hail size. I think an extreme chance, I think it's very likely you guys will see at least quarter size hail, but because of the fact that storms can be isolated and there is a lot of activity, you might have almost the same amount of chance of getting a tornado, guys, as you are getting larger than golf ball size hail. So that potential is very extreme, but I think the realistic sizes, you'll definitely see around quarter size hail today. Jackson, Mississippi is another pick city I have. They're going to be a little later this evening, 5 to 9 p.m. You're under that PDS tornado watch, that particularly dangerous situation tornado watch. So the tornado threat is very, very high, and that could have up to some baseball size hail as well for any kind of storms that are isolated. High chance of at least quarters, moderate chance, again, same deal as Birmingham, just different area for Jackson, Mississippi. And then Memphis, Tennessee, 1 to 10 p.m. You're under a tornado watch until 1 p.m. This will likely change and update as we continue through the afternoon. We have up to 2-inch hail possible. There's been a lot of rain this morning, a little cooler, but things are clearing out. That warm front's getting north of you. So when the main line of storms move through in a couple hours, that's where you could see up to that 2-inch hail. I think at least quarters is possible, but a lower chance of golf ball or larger just because of possible storm mode interactions with the line of storms. And finally, Atlanta. Atlanta's going to be very late. They're straddling the line between today's forecast and tomorrow's forecast. Was doing from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. 5 to 7 in the morning is when we're expecting storms to push through the Atlanta metro. Could have up to ping pong ball size hail. I think the biggest question mark is going to be, is it going to be a line of storms as it pushes through like we saw on the future radar? Or is it going to be kind of a broken area? And if that's the case, moderate chance of at least quarters, and probably pretty low chance of golf ball or larger in Atlanta tonight into tomorrow. So with that, what's that hail forecast graphic going to be for today? And you can see that bullseye is pretty much the area where we're going to see those supercells this afternoon. That's going to be your best bet in terms of storm mode for seeing that big hail. So anywhere here in the purple, that's going to be best chance. Otherwise, we have a chance for some hail further north up by Fayetteville. Little Rock, your low chance might be 0 at this point as we have a lot of rain in the area. Memphis, again, that high chance of probably, again, up to at most 2-inch hail. Nashville, I have you low just because I think the warm front might have a hard time getting up north of you guys, and then the rain clears out, and then getting warming all before the storms pass through. I think that keeping you a little lower, keeping you down to that $1/4 to $1/2 size, the main bullseye, the main target here, anywhere in this hatched zone could have very significant hail with any storms this afternoon, primarily between about now and about 7 or 8 o'clock p.m. Jackson and Birmingham, both at that extreme level. New Orleans, there could be something that far south by you. And then Atlanta, you have that moderate chance. And then finally, this is kind of outdated now. I think the storm risk has ended in Houston. You had that low chance of around quarters, and you didn't quite make it there a little while ago. I was hoping we would be able to do our forecast video before that showed up. So Houston, you're out of the risk now. And then the significant tornado parameter, this is basically like the hail one, but for tornadoes, and it's showing very intense values. When you see, man, we get maximized right there at 7 o'clock by Jackson. When it's maximized like this, long track, violent tornadoes are expected. Not possible, they're expected this afternoon into this evening, and this pushes off to the east, and we're going to be dealing with tornadoes pretty much for probably a solid 24 hours. It's going to continue east into the Carolinas. And there's that wind and tornado forecast for you guys. So I have the wind, so that's basically the colors here, the maximum wind, so just straight line wind potential upwards of 95 miles an hour, most likely around 80, 85 in your max. But then the risk level colors here, this is your tornado threat, so extreme level chance for tornado risk for Jackson, for Birmingham, for the metro areas. High risk for Atlanta. It's going to be late tonight, again going into tomorrow morning. Memphis, you're high as well. Moderate for Nashville. You could see some gusty winds, maybe a spin over a tornado or two. And then it's a hard cutoff, probably pretty low down in New Orleans, where I think the tornado risk is not as intense as it is in Mississippi and into Alabama for this evening. Future radar pushing beyond tonight. You see storms continue pushing forward at about 6 o'clock in the morning, pushing through Atlanta. And then going into tomorrow, this goes into the Carolinas. You can see it was a line of storms, but notice how it's sort of broken in the models here, especially up here into North Carolina. This looks more like a supercell to me than a line of storms. So we could see, again, the potential for tornadoes and for hail as well. And it just completely breaks up, and then isolated storms form along coastal sections of North and South Carolina. We have to watch these very carefully. We could have some pretty intense storms with that, large hail and gusty winds and tornadoes. And then also a draping line of storms pushing through Florida for your day on Thursday. And then everything pushes off the coast by about midnight. So this will all be winding down going into your Friday. So with that, what are we expecting? One of the most at-risk cities for Thursday. We got Raleigh, Charlotte, both probably about a moderate chance of seeing some large hail. Charleston, Atlanta, and Jacksonville, a moderate to low. And then even all the way up into Cincinnati, Ohio, you could see some cold core, some marginally severe hail with that. So what's our hail forecast looking like for your Thursday? Zooming on in here, you can see we have $1/4 to $1/2 size hail possible all the way from Ohio down into Florida, south of Orlando. And then I'm keeping the sizes smaller right now just because of questions with storm mode. We have a big squall line ripping across the southeast tomorrow. It's going to keep those hail sizes smaller. But if it does break up and separate into more isolated activity, then that hail size could end up being bigger than golf ball. So we'll have it for you guys tomorrow, of course. And then looking at the overall risk, low chance for Cincinnati for $1/4 to $1/2 size hail, low chance for Washington, D.C. These are just basically with the low pressure center itself, so you just have a lot of cold air aloft, and that can cause their hail to be up to quarters. A moderate chance for Raleigh. I think you're probably one of my pick cities right now for tomorrow, where you could see those more isolated storms. Charleston's the same basic deal for storms that form later on in the afternoon into the evening hours. Atlanta, this is going to be very early in the morning, probably before we even do tomorrow's forecast. So again, this could be near daybreak for Atlanta. And then Jacksonville, you have a low chance. Again, if they're more isolated, you could see some bigger hail for the Jacksonville area. And Orlando, probably about the same as well. So that's your hail forecast. Pushing ahead to the wind forecast, wind and tornado forecast. We have The gust potential probably isn't going to be as strong as is today for just straight line winds, so maybe up to about 70. And then that tornado threat, that's going to be the big talk of the town really for your Thursday. High chance from Charlotte to Raleigh. Again, I think we're going to see quite a bit of tornadic activity. Even if it is a line of storms, you could have those embedded tornadoes that are rain wrapped and moving quick, and you can't really see them too great. And then Charleston and Atlanta both on that moderate chance, and then finally Jacksonville, you're probably pretty low for tornadoes, but could see some gusty winds. So that's all we have for the forecast today. You can follow us on our social media platforms. If you're watching us here on Facebook, YouTube, well, I hope you give us a like or share, bell, whatever you got to do. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, it's all at Hail Trace. Hit See First on Facebook. We will likely be doing quite a bit of coverage through the remainder of this afternoon into this evening. And you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You want any updates, you want to get yourself ready in case we have a really big storm through this afternoon. It's a great number to call. We're here all day. And of course, email us info@hailtrace.com or visit our website for more details. Do we have anything else going on, Frank? Do you know off the top of your head?
We have two tornado warnings at the Mississippi-Alabama border, and then there's still that tornado warning storm in Alabama.
Okay, so we're gonna come off the air here. We'll come back probably when we get some more activity going on. We'll be doing live coverage probably on and off through the remainder this afternoon unless things really get crazy, and it might be a lot of coverage. So stay tuned to that. Keep it on your alerts on the Hail Trace app, and you'll be alerted when we go live. We'll see you guys then.